Welcome to the DSE Assessment Tool. It's located on the My THSP portal alongside the other tools that we have here. I'll initially select in. Now this is set up as the admin person for the tool. So I'll give you a quick demonstration from here. You'll have all your users, which you'll add to your My THSP portal, and you can request any assessments from them. So I'll just request one here. That will then send off an email to that person to go in and log in to their My THSP portal and create an assessment. So I'll now assume that that has been done, and I'll start an assessment to take you through that process. There'll be a disclaimer initially. And then we'll have the home sort of page. Now we'll go into each section to actually view and see what's going on. But as part of the initial login, it will actually produce a worksheet for you, which I'm showing here. So you'll be able to analyze against on these worksheets exactly how you're setting up. So I'll go through each stage and I'll be clearing all these elements to do my assessment. So we'll click onto the details first. We'll decide if it's a home or a workplace assessment. I'll select home for the moment, and I'll select what my setup is. Now this is quite important for the person who's reviewing the assessment, so there's a good description of the actual workplace. So in mine, I'm going to put a Surface Pro computer in a docking station with 2 external monitors. That gives me a good idea of exactly what's going on. So I finished my details page. I'll now go onto the keyboard, and it will pose various questions to do with the keyboard. And again, you've got the option to download the actual sheet here, which will give more detail. So we'll answer these questions. So is it separate from the screen? Not always the case if you're working from a laptop, but you can always have a separate keyboard along. So if there's tilt, if I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, there's a good keyboard technique, and are they readable, reliable? If I say no, for example, here, I can then say keys worn on keyboard. And when I've completed my assessment, that will feed back to the administrator, who will then look to see if there's anything that we can do, i.e. purchase a new keyboard, etc. I'll now move on to the next topic. And again, I'll answer these questions. They're fairly basic questions, but they enable you to go through all the process. So display screens now. Generally, wherever there's a no, then there'll be a remedial action that comes from it. Some of the questions may not be applicable, if you don't have a desktop phone or you don't need a headset for the task, etc. Onto the furniture now. Working environment. And all these questions follow the HSE guidance on the topic for DSE Assessments Tool. Nearly at the end of the assessment now, so you can see how quick and simple it is. And then the final questions, which is close-out questions. And then we'll finalise the assessment. So you can see that I've got one issue raised on this actual assessment here. So that's it. You would have sent your assessment in. You'll now see that for my assessment, it's now recorded that there's open action on there. And if you've got any other actions items open from anyone else, then they'll also appear in your outstanding actions here. So if I go into view my outstanding actions, I'll scroll to the bottom and you'll be able to see that my keys were worn on the keyboard here. As an assessor, I can now click on there to resolve if I did purchase a new keyboard for them. And I can put a date. And then hit resolve. That would then close out my action item on the finished assessment. And that's what the risk assessment, DSE assessment tool is all about, being able to nice and easy manage and resolve any outstanding actions. Thank you for watching.